Good afternoon. I am honored to introduce student speaker Cade Stowe. A graduate of Milton High School, Cade arrived at our Rock County campus in 2018. He was, in his own words, just trying to find his way. Through his journey, he navigated several challenges, but he found a university home and people who allowed him to thrive. He became a cornerstone of our community, serving as a peer tutor and mentor, welcoming new families through student orientation, competing in intramural sports, and conducting research. Dr. Lauren Wilbers, who nominated Cade to speak today, beautifully noted, Cade's experiences with adversity have clearly shaped the way he approaches both school and life. He hopes to remind fellow graduates that there is no single timeline for success and that setbacks can become sources of strength. Today, Cade graduates with his bachelor's degree in psychology, ready to become his master's in counseling education right here at UW-Whitewater this fall. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Cade Stowe.
I'm a little tall here, I apologize. There we go, okay. To start, I'm going to say this phrase, and I want you to keep it in your head for the next couple of minutes. If you made someone smile, you had a good day. Keep that in your back pocket. First and foremost, thank you to the professors, the mentors, and the friends that saw a scared, confused, 18-year-old kid who was struggling to find the light in the world, who had no direction, sense of purpose, or even a place to sleep. Someone who simply wanted to put love into the world, yet had no clue where to start. Growing up was not the easiest thing for me, as I wasn't like most kids. I saw the world in a completely different way than a neurotypical or normal person would. I always noticed the smallest details in every conversation with every person I came across each day. Yet I can never tell what the person in front of me was feeling. Were they happy or were they sad? I had a very rigid way of thinking. Touch was overwhelming, and my obsession with Spider-Man was through the roof. I thought this was how every 6-year-old saw the world. Little did I know, that wasn't the case. Fast forward a decade later, although some things didn't change, like my obsession with Spider-Man, other changes were more radical and scary. I started to experience pseudo-seizures, aka stress seizures, that completely incapacitated me. Around that same time, I started to experience depression and anxiety. And just a few years later, I was tested and diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder and functional neurological disorder. While I was relieved to finally have an explanation for what I had been facing, being told that I wouldn't be capable of living an independent life was soul-crushing. I had to take a medical withdrawal from this prestigious university, and during those times, I was lost in the uncertainty of it all. Very convenient timing for a pandemic to show up, huh? Over the next couple of years, I worked as a food server, a bartender, and as a video game store clerk. But then, in the summer of 2023, I had an epiphany, and I realized the very challenge that forced me to withdraw from this university was what was pushing me back here to pursue my passion. I wanted to help others with neurodivergency. I finally had a path, a purpose. In the fall of 2023, I started taking classes both here in Whitewater and at the Rock County campus, meeting beloved professors and mentors that, despite my differences, truly believed in me. I started taking more classes, increasing my confidence, and taking new opportunities that I never thought possible for someone like me. I joined an independent study, presented at the undergraduate research fair, tutored and mentored other students, and volunteered in my community. Instead of hearing the taunts of bullies from the past saying, "You're stupid, incapable, useless, helpless," I started hearing the voices of my most trusted professors. "You can do this. You're not alone." Instead of my neurodivergency being weaponized, victimized, I realized that my curse was a blessing, a superpower. I am Spider-Man. I may not process the world the same as others do, but I still see a beautiful world in front of me, even if the picture is colored differently. I have shed the chains of ableism and discrimination, leading to lifelong friendships that I will forever cherish. The loneliness stopped. The spinning thoughts stopped. The seizures stopped. Everything in and around me slowed down. And for the first time in 26 years, I can relax. My passion for learning and self-improvement in service to others has been reignited. This fall, I will be pursuing a Master's of Science in Counseling with a clinical mental health emphasis at this very place we call home. I finally have a blueprint on how I want to make people smile, how to have a good day. I am ready to wear my identity with pride. Now, as I share my experiences, you may be wondering why my story matters to you. We all have challenges. What matters is how we overcome them. Keep moving forward, following your dreams, striving for what you are capable of. There is no specific roadmap that you must follow. Your journey isn't anyone else's. It's yours. No matter how many rainy days you have, I promise you that you are strong enough to chase your true worth. Every minute you lift that umbrella against self-doubt is another minute of finding yourself. And when all those minutes add up, when you recognize what you bring to this world, compassion, empathy, and a little bit of sunlight, that's when the real magic starts. When we love ourselves, it becomes that much easier to see the humanity in others. As we celebrate the legacy we leave here and the people we've met along the way, continue becoming the most loving version of yourself. Be proud of who you are and what you're becoming. How much love can we put into the world in our lifetimes? Why not find out? I am a proud advocate for mental health. I am proud to be neurodivergent. I am proud to be autistic. And damn right, I am proud to be a warhawk. Before I go, remember when I said, if you made someone smile, you had a good day? That is a quote from my father, Mr. Mike Stowe, who, in the face of Parkinson's disease, is the epitome of that phrase. No matter how much pain he may be in, no matter how hard it can be to get up in the morning, he continues to smile in the face of fear. His resilience and the adversity he has overcome is part of what made me who I am today. As I take a final glance at all of you in the audience, I see a lot of smiles. I guess that means I had a pretty great day. Congratulations to all of the graduates. I hope you have a good day too. Me? I had a great one. Thank you.